All right. So we're back, my friends. We're back, and I saw this story. You know what I'm saying? Like legitimately, and I couldn't turn it down. Apparently, 16 people were decapitated in a prison riot in Brazil today. Most definitely some interesting stuff going on down there. Let's read and see what the hell's going on. So, at least 57 people have been killed in the prison riot in Brazil, which saw rival gangs battle for 5 hours, officials say. Gang members from one prison block invaded another part of Altamira jail in the Para state. 16 of the dead were decapitated and the remainder suffocated after part of the prison was set on fire, officials said at the news conference. Two prison officers who were taken hostage have since been freed. The violence began at 7 o'clock local time, 10 o'clock GMT on Monday, and ended around noon, officials said. Members of the Commando Class A CCA gang set fire to a cell where rival gang members from Commando Vermelho Red Command were kept. The Para state government said in a statement. You see where Para is? Right. It's northern Brazil, northeast Brazil. The structure of the cell allowed the fire to spread quickly, resulting in death by asphyxiation of some inmates. Officials said that the two prison officers were taken hostage were soon released because the goal of the attack was to strike at a rival gang rather than at prison guards. So they're not upset that they're in prison. They're upset that these individuals are in prison with them. Video reported to be from the prison carried out in Brazil media showed smoke billowing from at least one prison building, while another clip appeared to show inmates walking around on the rooftops. The prison in Altamira, where Monday's violence broke out, has a capacity of 200 but was occupied by 309 prisoners. Officials denied it was overcrowded. The Ministry of Justice said that the ringleaders of the violence will be transferred to more secure units in federal jails. Prisons without guards or weapons in Brazil prison riots. What's the cause? The violence in Brazilian prison is not uncommon. The country has the world's third largest prison population that has 700,000 people, and overcrowding is a widespread problem. Clashes between rival gangs are frequent, as are riots. All right, so the reason that they're all overcrowded right now is because of the fact that they just got a new president named Bolsonaro, who decided to actually enforce laws and crack down on drug dealers and crime. And in doing so, there's like 30 years worth of criminals to round up and put in the fucking prison. You're going to end up with problems like this. It just is what it is. You know, I mean, the guy's doing a good job, so don't think that the government's not doing what it's supposed to do. They're trying, you know, I mean, but they can't build prisons fast enough to fill, you know, I mean, to fucking house all these motherfuckers. More than 130 people were killed in January 2017 alone as violence broke out in several prisons between the country's two largest gangs, resulting in lengthy riots and an eventual transfer of hundreds of prisoners. Brazil's far-right president, Jair Bolsonaro, has vowed to bring in tighter controls in prisons while building more across the country. But this is not straightforward because prisons are controlled at the state level. So what causes violence? Overcrowding. A crackdown on violent and drug-related offenses has seen the country's prison population boom in recent decades. Overcrowding makes it hard for prison authorities to keep rival factions separate. Also, it raises tension inside the cells with inmates competing for limited resources such as mattresses and food. Gang warfare. Killings between rival gang members are common in Brazilian prisons. This was exacerbated when a two-decade truce of sorts broke down in recent years between two of the country's most powerful gangs, the Sao Paulo-based First Capital Command drug gang and Rio de Janeiro's Red Command. Lack of resources. Many Brazilian prisons are underfunded. This will happen. Poorly trained and badly paid prison guards often face inmates who not only outnumber them, but who also feels they have little to lose as they face long sentences already. So, as I said, you know, I mean, you add in, that's always an issue. And I mean, in state prisons and in county prisons, to be a fact, you never want to be in the jungle in the county prison. The jungle is where they'll put you if you're going upstate, right? Like if you got time to do. And the jungle's full of individuals. They might be doing 20 years. They might be doing 15. They might be doing 5. They might be doing 10. You never know. And these individuals are unpredictable. You know, it is what it is. Like, because if you're going to be someplace 10 years, it might be worth it to stick an individual. You know, I mean, this is what it is because you have to survive for the next 10 years. Like, that's just part of your fucking life. That's just how the hell shit operates. But, you know, Bolsonaro's trying. You know, I mean, he is what he is. And they go far right president. He's not a far right president. He's a guy who wants to crack down on corruption and bullshit and nonsense and get rid of a lot of the social nonsense that's been going on, the socialist programs that are bankrupting the fucking economy, and really pull it through and do what needs to be done. So we'll see what happens. You know what I mean? Like, we'll see what the situation is and see how this works out. I think international aid's probably going to have to be put in from somewhere, probably the U.S., you know what I mean? Because the Monroe Doctrine, you know what I mean, states that we take care of this side of the hemisphere. It is what it is. So we'll see where it ends up. You know what I mean? You know the situation. This is Tom Pease of Pinoy News bringing you a motherfucking exclusive, my friend. Holla at your boy. Later.